Hello everyone, I am Richard Vigorelli, your guide to everything Chinese medicine and basically everything that's a little bit weird. Now today I want to talk to you guys about a concept that's really a theory that operates within Chinese medicine and basically all philosophy east of the Himalayas. But before I really get into it, I wanted to tell you what a theory is. Now, a lot of people, especially here in the United States, believe that theory means opinion or idea or thought. That is not correct. An actual theory requires a lot of evidence, and it has to be repeatable in just about any situation by just about anyone for it to mean anything. If it's not a theory and it can be repeated and validated no matter what conditions, then it's called a law. If it is not a theory and might be able to be repeated, but it's got plenty of evidence to it, then it's a hypothesis. If it's not a theory and just one person thought of it and said, hey, you know what might happen? Then that's called a notion. So when a lot of people say, I have a theory, they mean notion. What I'm about to talk about is not a notion. It is not a hypothesis. It is a theory. It's called Yin and Yang, not Yang. Yang. Yang is a little guy with a funny hat and he lives down the street. So, what, pray tell, is Yin and Yang, and what does that have to do with medicine? Well, glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Yin and Yang is the very basic concept that everything in our universe has an opposite. For you to have up, you have to have down. Up is Yang, down is Yin. For there to be hot, you have to have cold. Hot is Yang, Yin is cold. Okay? There's big, which is Yang, small, which is Yin. Yang is spread out, Yin is contracted. Yang is hard and strong, Yin is soft and gentle. Yang is also hollow, whereas Yin is solid. Okay? So what does this have to do with medicine? I'm sure you're asking. Well, in Chinese medicine, one of our fundamental concepts is balancing yin and yang and getting them to play nice together because of what they mean to each other. Yin and yang are co-creating, meaning they create each other. They are completely immersed within each other, meaning you cannot have one without the other. They are intercreating, interdestroying, interdependent, intercontrolling, and they have a habit of taking each other out. That's the interdestroying part. So if you get too much yang, you will eventually break down the yin. If you get too much yin, you will eventually break down the yang. So what does that look like? Well, imagine it's a nice hot day outside and you're sweating like you've done something wrong and you should apologize. So you decide to stop off at local restaurant, get yourself a nice beer, some hot wings. Because you like hot wings, and it's summertime, isn't it? You're supposed to have nice spicy food in the summer, right? Well, we'll get there. What happens is you get yourself a nice big old thing of hot wings, lots of hot sauce, and get yourself a nice beer and, a nice water. Just because, Well, you get home that night and you can't cool off. You check your air conditioning. It's on 75, where you like it. Whew, you're just hot. You get under the covers to go to bed and you just sweat. You're swimming in your own juices. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Because let's say you're sharing that bed with somebody else. They don't like that. They want to snuggle up next to a human, not a water slide or a pool. Okay? It's gross. Well, that's actually a very serious condition because it can lead to heart problems. And it definitely leads to sleep problems because, I don't know about you, but I don't like sleeping in a swimming pool. So on and so forth. Well, as acupuncturists, we are really good at taking care of that. That is what is called a Yin Deficiency. You have so much heat in your body that you've gotten rid of some of the cold that you actually needed so that you don't burst into flames when you hit sunlight. Just as an aside. Now, let's go to the other side. Okay. It is the middle of winter. And you're in, you're in Salt Lake City, going skiing for the very first time. And you're used to, Los Angeles. It's not hot this time of year, but it's not freezing either. It's about 50 degrees. And you're suddenly plunked down in the middle of this frozen world where the ice has fallen out of the sky and stacked itself up on the mountains. And it's hard and cold. Well, you're not really used to this. But you go along with it anyway. You want to learn how to ski before you die. So you go skiing, you have yourself a great time. You get in, and you can't warm up. You take a hot shower and you can't warm up. You climb into bed and you can't warm up no matter how hard you try. Your toes and your fingers and your body, you're just cold. And there's no reason why you should be. You haven't eaten anything cold. Yeah, it's cold outside, but inside, it's in the 80s. It should be hot. What the hell? Well, what you have in this scenario is what is called a Yang Deficiency. It's the other side. You got into so much cold that you weren't used to that it just eradicated your Yang energy. And now you're tired, you don't want to move anything, you're freezing. Well, us acupuncturists, also very good at dealing with that. So, when we see a patient that has a Yin deficiency or a Yang deficiency, well, we build up the respective energy. If they're Yang deficient, we give them herbs and what's called a hot needle treatment, where when we stick the needle in the body, we take this stuff called moxa, and we hold it next to the needle, and it goes into the point and starts to warm up their body. It's fantastic stuff. I've had it done many times. I've even performed it. If we have a person with a Yin deficiency, well, first of all, we get them away from anything that's hot. We tell them only go out into the sun if you have to for right now. Don't eat anything spicy. Don't drink any coffee. Anything that's warming, stay away from it. We give them cooling herbs. Now, as we treat them with the acupuncture, it's a very, very gentle technique. We cool them off. And I had one patient once where I tonified his yin and the guy started to shiver. Yeah, I may have done it a little bit too much, but he came out just fine. He looks great. He looked great afterwards. I came back 2 more times. He was happy. So the whole point of yin and yang, again, is this is a theoretical idea that the ancient Asians, also known as the Chinese, and the Koreans, and the Japanese, and everybody else in the eastern part of Asia figured out that everything has a duality within our universe. In Western science, we call this positive and negative. So, if you want to learn more about yin and yang, please feel free to visit my website at vigintmed.com. That stands for Vigorelli, integratedmedicine.com, and send me a message. You can also leave a message below in the comments saying, what is this? What do you think about this? And just remember that I can split yin and yang 1,000 ways this Sunday, and you'll never get to the end. So don't ask me if the sun is absolute yin or the earth is absolute yang or whatever, because everything has both. So, also, feel free to subscribe. I am Richard Vigorelli, your guide to Chinese medicine, and I'll be back next time with something else for you guys. I think I'll do qi and blood. I like qi and blood, and it's kind of like yin and yang. So, until then, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you later.